Hi, this is Keith Bryant for Global SMT and Packaging at Apex 2022, and I'm here with Kaitlyn from Calcuquote, and we're going to talk about a new product that you have.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Tell me about it.
Thanks for having me. So Calcuquote, first of all, is a software solutions company specifically for the supply chain process for contract manufacturers. So we are very niche in what we do. We have a new product coming out called Port CQ. It is focusing on allowing your customers to really take their quotes and get a quote back on your website efficiently, accurately, and just adding efficiency to the supply chain processes for these contract manufacturers. And it's really been the struggle over the last couple years with the pandemic and having to adapt their businesses.
Yeah, and it was a struggle before that, because if you've got an OEM who suddenly decides they're going to go to contract manufacturing, they send their bill of materials out to 20 different people, and it produces I've seen the amount of work involved from putting a quote together from a bill of materials and some component information and a bit of a drawing of the circuit board and a little bit of other information, and it is a big body of work. So anything that streamlines that is going to help the guys who are out there for sure.
Yeah, and it's not only streamlining it for the contract manufacturer, it's also creating leads for them. If you can have an OEM come to your website and create a quote on their own, that's a new lead generation tool for that contract manufacturer, because all these companies can now go to their website, create quotes, and that funnels into what they do on a day-to-day basis and just creates more business for them.
So to start the process, there doesn't have to need to be any interaction with the contract manufacturer at all.
Yeah, it's going to be dependent on the contract manufacturer. This is still a relationship built business, of course, right? Yeah. And that's the way it'll continue to be, because we all like being in person and talking. But as an OEM and small design shop, I might just want to see what this contract manufacturer is about, what they would consider charging me. And that's a potential good lead generation, just like when I go on to Amazon and say, I'm interested in this, right? And they tell me how much it's going to cost. Well, if I don't buy it, they're going to remind me to buy it later. And that's a lead generation for them, that I'm interested in something for them.
Yeah, but getting a price from Amazon for something is a lot easier than getting a price from a bill of materials.
Well, that is true. However, with Calcuquote, we have made it easier to do that, because we have the integrations with the supply chain, with the DigiKeys, the Arrows of the world. Adding your margin on top of that, making sure it's going to be profitable for your business, now puts you in the game of getting a price back to your customer in just a more efficient time, or a price back to your lead.
Okay, so the guys who work with you can customize your product to do what they want for their customers.
Absolutely. Every business is going to be different, right? Every contract manufacturer has what they would consider their secret sauce. And it's really important that a product can be customizable to that, because they do have different margins, they do have different commission structures, they do have different costs for their components from their distributors, their labor profiles. So our product is going to be customizable so that it is very efficient to their business and accurate for their business specifically.
Wow! So you're taking away a lot of effort from these guys, and coming up with something that is pretty much a quote that you could stand behind, because of the people that you're getting the base pricing from.
Absolutely, yep. And we're really looking to just reinvent the way that these companies do business, right? It's revolutionizing and moving us forward into the future.
So how long after somebody, whether it's the contract manufacturer or their customer, loads all the data into the system, does it take to get an answer? Yeah,
so we have a couple customers live on the product right now, and I could go to their website right now and load in my bill of material, and I'd get an answer back in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you think more and more people are going to pick this up and go fully live, rather than just use it for themselves to cut down the time that they need to generate?
I really do, and I think a lot of it is the lead generation purpose. If the last 2 years have told us anything, it's that in person was much harder, and they had to come up with really strategic ways and really innovative ways to create more business, and this is taking people into that next step.
Yeah, it sounds like a really revolutionary and an exciting step.
Yes.
And, it's okay. You say that it's a niche, but it's a very important niche for the contract manufacturers. and it also gives a lot of visibility and openness to the end customer as well.
Absolutely. And we've been in this business now for about 8 years, specifically for Calcuquote. Our CEO and founder is from the industry. He's been a part of that. He knows what that is like. And so to see this revolutionize what we're doing now is just really exciting because we know the problems that these customers are having.
And I know you have a booth here at the show. So
we do.
What sort of responses are you getting from the real live 3D people that are walking about?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's so exciting to finally be back because 2 years, long time coming. We all missed it last year. It's been a great show, actually. You know, with everything going on, we were a little worried. We didn't know what it was going to be like, but we've had really great responses from customers, and customers just really excited to get out there and take their business to the next level with something like what we're doing.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, you know, it's one of those things, as you say, you know, being there in person, and when you've got a product like this,
absolutely,
it's one of those things that, you know, I won't say it sounds too good to be true, but it's one of those things that, first of all, you think, wow,
yeah,
you know, somebody somewhere, and again, you've been there 8 years,
sure,
but you'd think a lot of clever people in some of the bigger contract manufacturers could have actually developed this for themselves. Not that they need to now.
Well,
but you know, it's one of those things when you with hindsight, when you look at it, you think, yeah,
why didn't we do this years ago?
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the brilliant thing of it, right? These contract manufacturers are in the business of building PCBAs and circuit and, you know, cable assemblies, and that's their bread and butter. They don't need to be worrying about the other stuff. So it's great to have a software like this that can, you know, add value to their business without them having to put too much into it.
Yeah, when you don't need 12, 14 people in your costing
yes.
office or whatever you'd like to call it, then yeah, it makes a huge difference to a lot of areas. And as long as you can give them accurate pricing, and then they can produce what they consider to be accurate costing.
Yep.
Because I know the difference between price and cost.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and they still have control over that. So even if you sent the same stuff to 10 people who were using your system,
yep,
you would get probably at least 8 or 9 different prices.
Absolutely. And along with price, stock is so important right now with the component shortages and the allocation issues, that getting that information in front of you real time is even more important today than it has been the past few years. So.
Yep. And I guess if they come up with a really good bill of materials that gives you second alternatives and
absolutely,
third alternatives if you haven't got it, then it just makes everything that much slicker.
Yeah, and if you can imagine recommending those alternatives to your customers, it just makes them feel really excited about doing business with you, which goes back to that lead generation.
Well, Kaitlyn, I have to say this is, you know, a really interesting and exciting thing.
Thank you.
I'm kind of annoyed that you've been there for 8 years and I haven't heard about it. But
well, come stop by and you can hear more too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, every contract manufacturer, it doesn't matter if they're a 2-person outfit or they're a 2,000-person outfit.
It's a problem.
It's always the one thing that they complain about is having to spend all this time doing quotes and costings and following them up, and then things change and then they have to redo everything.
The spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets, right?
So, yeah, it's been...
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming in and sharing with us.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Not at all.
All right.
And that's Keith Bryant signing off for Global SMT and Packaging from Apex 2022. Thank you for watching, and take care and stay safe.